Hello, everybody. Tim Knight here, and it's our first decent down day in like 3 weeks. November 15 was the last time we had even a modest drop. As it is at the moment, the ES is down about 0.5%, 32 points. NQ's down almost a couple of hundred points. And even the RTY is down a little bit, about 1/3%. Ironically, it's right on the heels of yet another Chinese stimulus. They came out very loudly and announced they will have, I believe the words were rather loose, which sounds gross to me, monetary policy. So rather loose. There you go. But in any case, that vaulted Chinese markets higher and worldwide markets and propped up the U.S. for a while. But I'm having the best day I've had in eons. And, this stimulus is not so stimulating at the moment. I've got a lot of charts. I could speak for hours about this stuff, but you're not here for that. You're here for the pictures. So let's go look at the charts together. Here, as I said, is the spider. And as I said, it's the first decent down day we've had since here. Ever since November 15, it's just been, lifetime highs every day. Finally getting a bit of reversal. We had the most recent lifetime high prior trading day, Friday. But we've given up Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, basically tossed those days away. The diamonds are gently rounding themselves lower. They peaked early last week. And the next key test is this gap. Can we get below the gap? We'll see. The big event this week is Wednesday morning, an hour before the open. We've got the CPI. So we can hear what the latest ostensible inflation number is. So that'll be the next thingamabob. And of course, 4 or 5 weeks from now, we're going to have all the earnings season kick in. And of course, the inauguration and day one and all the long list of things that are supposed to happen on day one. So January should be interesting, especially the second half. As I mentioned, China has thrown open the spigots again, plunging themselves more trillions of yuan in debt. What it has managed to do is recapture the same feeble pop it had on October 3 and on November 7. So, it's like bang, 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 like so. We're still, incredibly on the FX side, the lifetime high was 17 years ago, and they were a lot less in debt back then because there was a time when the Chinese market was amazing. It looked like every stock was NVIDIA. And since then, it has been, insert colorful biological metaphors here all over the place. So that's FXI. EFA, I have shorted in size, as we used to say at Montgomery Securities, and there is the stop loss on that. So that's looking good. And I also, in spite of bouncing a bit, because everything bounced thanks to China, EWZ, I'm still the happy owner of a bunch of March puts on EWZ. Calm, which is the Earth's weirdest long position, continues to push higher. This has been mentioned dozens of times on the segment. It is an egg distributor, and it just keeps vaulting higher. Eggs must be a great business. PE is quite modest, but it's eggs, so it's not exactly breakthrough stuff. But this base was the foundation of a tremendous rally in this, which just keeps on going. But the thing I'm noticing here and there is that people have kind of run out of the good stuff. They've run out of really high quality companies. NVIDIA is not some undiscovered upstart. It's approaching $4 trillion in market cap. So people are looking for, well, what else can I buy? And so all these little small companies that don't make any money, but they're kind of ignored, are suddenly getting lots of attention. And so you're seeing this tremendous pops in price. No clue what these do. But here's ASAN. And you can just see that they've just so dreadful years and years. And then lately, it's like somebody just grabbed a tube of toothpaste and gave it a big old squeeze. Here's the real, which had been in this cute little top, started to slip lower. And then it has burst from a couple of dollars to almost 10, especially in days of late. We've got a 40% increase today. Now, I don't think this is going to last. I don't think this is the beginning of some grand bull market for this. On the contrary, I think it's going to exhaust itself if it hasn't already and give up all that, because you can see the mountain of overhead supply here. But short term, it has been a sensation. Many stocks have like this. Here's another one, American Outdoor Brands, AOUT, just blasting higher, but very meaningful resistance right here. So yeah, the small caps are getting some badly needed love, but ain't going to last. Now, my hang up has been semiconductors, and I sweated out all last week and talked about it every day. Trend lines, trend lines, trend lines, and we got terrifyingly close, but didn't break one of them. We violated no horizontals, no trend lines, no gaps, no nothing, and it's starting to pay off. Here's AMD. This is my largest semi position, and you and I went through this together. We failed here. We broke the trend line here. Resistance, resistance, resistance is like magic. Resistance over and over and over again. You got to keep in mind, 99.9% of the planet sees this. You're going to see nothing. See a bunch of wiggly lines. How in the world are you going to make sense of that? How on earth can you make a decision based on that? Hope, faith, charity? No. You need the good stuff. So we've got a nice push here on Wednesday, where it tried one last time to get above the broken trend line. Nuh-uh. Down, down, and down with a big old capital D right there. So we got about a 6% drop on AMD right there, and it is still wildly overvalued. So that's pretty cool. And what else is cooking? Let's see, SMH. This was up earlier, but it's down now, and a little sloppier than AMD. We peaked on this one also on Wednesday, slipped steady, and then slipped again. NVIDIA definitely has been a little wild today. It's down 2.72%, NVIDIA that is, which is the biggest component of SMH. And this is all contributing to the cubes, which themselves are down about 1%. And here again, there's nothing bearish about this. But let's see if we can break that gap. That'd be a nice failed bullish breakout, or at least a gap violation. And the real sauce would cook in when if we can break this trend line, but that's a long ways off. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Other shorts are doing well, and they are trying to scare me out of these positions, but it's not working because they are not. They're strong intraday. There's rallies early in the morning, but on the whole, they're not violating the key levels, be they gaps, trend lines, what have you. Caterpillar is a fine example. Caterpillar was up mightily earlier today. Now we've got the shooting star going on. It did not push above this horizontal. It got close, but it didn't do it. Huntsman, also very strong earlier and strong now. It's up over 2%. Look at this long shadow, we call it, on the candlestick, like so. All that buying expended, all of that bidding on the price already deployed. Another one, Eli Lilly, down over $22. Boy, it sounds good. We're slipping away from this tremendous gap here. I've dragged this down to another lower gap, and in this rather hostile environment that big pharma is entering into, finally, after decades of just having billions dumped on them on a weekly basis, they're feeling the heat. Lumen Technologies, another good example. Now, I'd lightened up on this some, but it is down almost 8%. It's a sloppy pattern. We've pierced way into that, one of the biggest patterns I've ever seen as far as the top, but we have unwound all the gain on Friday. All that push higher, again, deployed already. It's expended. The bidding is done. The cash is out. And so we're working toward the underbelly of that pattern again. Cracker Barrel. This one continues to do nicely. Got into the puts up here on this post-earnings jubilation. Down, 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 down it goes. And it's a succession of tops that's going here, which I suspect will persist. And one last one, Wingstop. This one down double digits. Once again, tried to spook me out of this. Nope. That was on Friday. Another shooting star. We opened below all that today, and we've fallen ever since. And this trend line here, which goes all the way back to May of 2022, is been damaged and maybe broken once more. I certainly think so. Even Royal Caribbean made me money today. Unbelievable. This thing usually just beats me about the head. But I shorted it early today, and it's been falling nicely. It's down double digits, and it's very lofty, as you can see, extremely expensive. So I'm just going to hang on to that. Tesla, for the first time in years, got over 400 today. And I guess there was a lot of orders at 400 because, boy, that didn't last. The peak on this was 4.73. It is down on the day. It's within spitting distance of its lifetime high, but it's had a very big ascent here. There's going to be some profit taking, so that's no surprise. Rivian, which I've been enthusiastic about, another good day. Double-digit percentage gain on this. Green, 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 each day larger than the last. Now, this will exhaust itself. We've had pops before, like these here, and it doesn't amount to any meaningful long-term benefit. So we're probably getting close to the end of this, but it's nice while it's lasted. And speaking of cars, I'd also mention Uber. I stumbled across this weekend. Nice head and shoulders top on Uber, Uber, right, like so. So just wanted to mention that since we haven't really looked at Uber before. Now, as far as precious metals goes, you know, I've been saying the same thing again and again about this, which is long-term crazy enthusiastic, shorter term more nervous. The nervousness didn't help because silver was up almost 4% earlier today. It's burned some of that off, but silver has been doing quite well. But I'm still not comfortable with it because you can see where gold is. Gold got close to this gap here. It's been selling off from the open, as has silver. I just think it's got a lot of risk here to fall. Silver itself is above this very handsome green tinted base. But here too, we got close to this gap and now we've been receding. So this doesn't seem quite right yet. PSLV, there's the target way up here. Might as well make, well, red's appropriate, yeah, but there's the base, target's way up there, but doesn't seem like a real great price right now, so not touching it. Interestingly, Bitcoin is down thousands of dollars. Of course, on Friday, I believe it was Friday, it crossed 100,000 very swiftly. People went berserk. Everyone's talking about 250,000 next, baby, and then 1 million, and then the little progress bars with the 10% filled in, $9 to go, and so forth. All right. It's been playing jump rope with 6 figures all weekend. I think some big whales out there really wanted that psychological comfort for the public that we have a 6-figure Bitcoin. Didn't last. It's in the past few hours fallen about $5,000, and yeah, there we have it. So there was the big pop. There was the excitement, the thrills, the $250,000 speculation, and it's just been just sputtering ever since. That's fine. If we can get below this level, then things get really interesting, you know. But suffice it to say, the $100,000 thrill, you know, seems like ancient history now. It's 5 days ago, but that seems to be has exited stage left. Just to wrap up, here's the XLU, which of the Dow has been the weakest. This has been just red almost every day for the past 8 days or so. And the last thing I wanted to point out is the VIX, which got down to a 12 handle on Friday. And if you look at this in sort of raw arithmetic terms, without a log scale, which I think is appropriate, you can see how rare these low levels are. And we have lingered there for a long time at certain times of market history. That's true. But let's all agree that over the long scale, and this is about a third of a century you're looking at,